One up, one down for the South Dakota men last week as they drop a tough one Thursday at home against Kansas City. Come back get an exciting win Saturday against Oral Roberts. Here to talk about all that is head coach Eric Peterson. And Eric, I know when it comes to Kansas City, you know that there's going to be a lot of that athleticism involved. They're really going to get after you on defense, and certainly with the way that game started, that was pretty apparent.
Yeah, their defense is the best in the league for a reason, right? They're athletic, they're very physical, they're a very good rebounding team, and it really affected us in the first half. Now, the last 10 minutes of the game, I thought we played great. We made some adjustments to speed it up a little bit, press a little bit more, be more aggressive. And I always say the aggressor always wins, right? Mm-hmm. And we weren't the aggressor the entire game.
Well, on top of getting after you on the defensive end, this is a team that likes to hoist the three, certainly does that more than anybody in the league. They average 8.5 makes on the year per game. They hit 9 of them in the first half. How much of that was them? How much of that was you?
A little bit of both. When we close out, we always want our guys to have a stick hand where we have a hand up. And a lot of their threes in the first half, we didn't have a hand up, right? And I think a lot of our guys, the mentality was they're so athletic, they're very quick getting to the rim. Well, they do shoot a ton of threes, right? And we were more worried about guarding off the bounce than getting a hand up. Well, you got to do both. You got to get a hand up, and once you contest or have that hand up in their face, then you got to sit down and be ready to guard. And we were more concerned about the drive than the shot.
Well, you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, was just that last 10 minutes of the game. Suddenly you guys flipped the switch, found a gear you hadn't had all night long against that team, and found a lot more success. Now, I think they made some mental errors on their end as well, but credit to your guys for capitalizing. They made that thing really interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, we were aggressive. The free throws, I think we shot 37 free throws and just really got to the free throw line by being aggressive, right? And that really slowed down runs in the second half and gave us an advantage. I put on the board the next game, if we play like we did the last 10 minutes of the game to start for the first 10 minutes, we'd have a great chance to beat Oral Roberts. And, the only thing I put on the board was just compete. If we just compete in everything we do, we'll have a chance.
Hey, well, you know what you did? That first 10 minutes, you were really good. It was you were up 19-12 early in that game.
Yeah, and we had a good start, and that's been our problem for a lot of the year is we start slow, especially at home for whatever reason. But yeah, we jumped on them early. We were aggressive. I thought we played really well together. We moved the ball, and I think it was a tale of two halves. The first half we weren't very good defensively. The whole half, the second half we really locked them up.
One area they hurt you, especially in that first half, was in the paint. You guys couldn't, but whether it was on the drive or whatever, or second chance or anything like that, they just found ways to score and hurt you inside. And that was clearly a point of emphasis at halftime because that completely flipped around in the second half.
Yeah, I think what happened was they hit some threes early, and then we started coming out, and we're only contesting the three. And what happens? Then they go right past us to the rim. So you got to be able to do both. We always say you're thinking shot, but you're playing the drive. Second half, we were much better just owning the paint. We always say that's a huge key for us, owning the paint on both ends. We were better getting to the rim and playing off 2 feet, and we did a really good job just playing in our gaps.
All right, things got really interesting. A lot of back and forth there. Made a nice run to get the lead. Got up, I think, as many as 7, and they came right back. And from there, it was pretty much trading bucket for bucket the rest of the way. So how did you guys lock it into place, given the fact that there had been so many games like that you came out on the wrong side of? This time you flipped it and figured out a way to get it done.
Yeah, I think number one, the crowd was awesome. Our guys just fed off that, and there was a ton of energy, and it was really loud in here. Number two, being able to play those close games at home, I think really helps with the crowd. But, you play in so many close games on the road, you always go into the film session the next day, and you're like, man, should I show the film? Do I need to be super transparent, or should I show some stuff to pump them up? And to me, you got to do both. You got to show them the glaring weaknesses on the reason we lost the game, but you got to show them some really good things too. So playing in those close games really helped us on Saturday.
Talk about the big play at the end with Bostyn. He had been so good. 4 games now out of the last 5, he's scored 20 points or more, including Saturday against Oral Roberts. It was clear it was going to him, and he converted.
Yeah, I think our staff is really good, right? Brandon had the scout defensively and did a great job, and Casey's really locked into the offense too. And when the timeout got called, it was immediately, hey, we're running this play for Bostyn. And I didn't even hesitate, right? So that's part of trusting your staff. Our staff watches a lot of film, and Bostyn was playing really well. I think he's averaged 21 points a game over the last 5 games. And anytime he can get in the paint and play off 2 feet where he's strong, he's big. He's 6'7". He's got broad shoulders, and he's really, really strong. I like our chances.
All right, so you get out of here, get the win, and obviously there's a little bit of celebration and enjoyment, certainly of that fact. I'm sure the locker room was a fun place to be that day. But now it's time to look ahead, and still 2 games to play, one at home against North Dakota State on Thursday, wrap up in Grand Forks against North Dakota on Saturday. So 2 tough ones. Nothing completely settled with that tournament picture just yet for you, and so how do you approach this last week knowing there's still things out there for you?
Yeah, we always say, we got 3 games left, but 1 game at a time, right? You just play 1 game 3 times. North Dakota State, we played them really early. It's been a long time since we played them. I think they're playing just as good as anybody in the league. Them and Kansas City had a battle. North Dakota State won in overtime, right? The 2 hottest teams in the league. And UND is maybe taking a couple steps back. They were playing really, really well when we played them here, but they're still a really good team. Tight battle with North Dakota State on Saturday. So we got to tweak a few things. We got to get better. Always finding the right lineup against certain teams. North Dakota State is playing bigger. They're playing basically 2 5s at the 4 and the 5 spot. So we've got to play a little bit bigger to match that with some rebounding and some physicality. We got to trim up our post doubles, right? We haven't doubled the post in a long time consistently, and we know we're going to have to do that because both teams play big.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Finish it out strong, and we'll see what happens from here.
Thank you. Go Yotes.